YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Ty. Thank you all for joining me today and welcome back to the channel. We're here to talk about fashion, fragrance, and a variety of different lifestyle topics. So, if you're interested in that type of content, do me a favor, consider subscribing and make sure you hit the bell to stay notified anytime I post any new content. Today, I'm back with another fragrance review, this time for Alexandria Fragrances 1981X. So, before we jump into how 1981X smells, I want to talk briefly about Alexandria Fragrances. They're a fragrance house that does have some of their own original creations, but they're most well known, I'd say, for their inspired by and clone fragrances. So, with this one here, 1981X, this is inspired by Xerjoff's Naxos. And again, I do have a sample of that one, have smelled it quite a few times, so we'll do a brief comparison, but really want to focus on talking about 1981X. And spoiler alert, it's a good one. So we'll go ahead and get the official notes for both of these fragrances on the screen, and I'm just going to do a spray. I already have the sample of Naxos on this hand over here, but just want to relive them both a bit. So, as I mentioned, y'all, this one is amazing. So, with both 1981X and Xerjoff Naxos, essentially what you get is a fragrance that revolves around honey, tobacco, and tonka bean. To me, those are the three main players, which you get most with both of these fragrances. You do have some vanilla in the base with both as well, and in the far dry down, you do get some of that. But I think those three notes, more than anything, at least on my skin, are what really kind of dominate this fragrance. Again, in addition to that vanilla, you do also get some cinnamon at certain points, especially through the mid, especially I'd say with the Xerjoff Naxos. But overall, like I said, that beautiful honey, tobacco, tonka blend is just a really beautiful scent profile and one that I'm a huge fan of. And with the Alexandria, the thing that's so surprising is the quality, right? When you think about the Xerjoff, that's a brand that, of course, is a luxury niche brand, very much so known for, their quality, and I think the price typically reflects that. But with Alexandria, I have a 55, I believe it's 55, yeah. So with a 55 mil here, and picked this one up. I think I got it about a year ago during holidays, so there was an additional percentage off. I think I paid less than $50 or around $50 for this one, and at that price, absolute. And again, the quality with this one is just amazing, especially when you consider that price point. And that's something that has kind of become, a constant theme, at least in my experience with Alexandria Fragrances. A number of fragrances from that house, and not only do they all smell great and smell pretty close to the, fragrance that they're inspired by, but the quality is something that I think just typically sets them apart. So that's also the case here with 1981X. And in terms of its closeness, I'd say very, very close. And not just in the air either, right? I think that's one of the things when you're dealing with a fragrance that's a clone or inspired by in the air, often can smell a lot closer. But when you get up on skin, can detect some differences and, not only the notes, but even the quality sometime. And not really the case here. Like I said, the quality is on point, and also from, the overall note standpoint, again, both are very focused on that honey, tobacco, and tonka. I would just say the Xerjoff, if there's any difference, you get some of that cinnamon through the mid, and I also on my skin, I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I even get some of that jasmine and maybe another floral component because it becomes a little dusty and almost powdery after about the hour and a half mark. But nonetheless, that's just kind of in the background. That's something that's a focal point, but is something that I noticed, and actually something that I enjoy. So let's jump into performance and versatility real quick. Both of these fragrances perform very well. 8+ hours longevity, project really well. Both on the strong side, I'd say, like, so you probably don't need many sprays of either to get the job done. So they definitely check that box with performance. And in terms of versatility, y'all, I fell in love with this fragrance. It's an amazing scent profile. I want to wear it as a signature scent, and I think many people probably can get away with that. But in terms of recommendations, I'd say this one's definitely probably most suited for fall, winter, can throw spring in there as well. And like I said, may be able to get away with it depending on where you're located in the summertime or if you're in a climate control situation. But overall, I'd say this one, just due to the sweetness, and even though it doesn't go too sweet, probably want to stay away from summer or extreme heat, just so it doesn't become too cloying. But all in all, very versatile in terms of its seasons and also its occasions. Can be worn, casually, but probably fits best, I'd say, in that more dressed up, nice dinner, nice date, evening out scent. It just works really well and it's going to smell amazing and definitely give you positive attention. So, moving into my final thoughts, would I recommend Alexandria Fragrances 1981X? Absolutely. I think this one is a solid alternative to Xerjoff's Naxos. Very rich, very dense, projects and performs really well. And again, one that just doesn't sacrifice much on the quality, even though the price is very competitive. So, would easily recommend this one. Like I said, I think the going rate for the 55 ml is around $60 or $65, and at that price, I think it's a great pickup. As always, I definitely recommend that you try the original. So Xerjoff Naxos, if that's one that you're interested in, or you're interested in a honey tobacco tonka sort of fragrance, would definitely recommend sampling or checking that one out in store if you can. And if it's one that you love, I would say definitely consider 1981X. The one thing I will point out is if you were looking at 100 ml of the Alexandria fragrances, that one's going to run you about $120. And I think at that price point, could be more of a debate or a toss up in terms of which one to go with, because as of recent, or at least, as of the time of this recording, I have seen Xerjoff Naxos, I think 100 ml on some of the discounters for around that $180 price point. So, yes, still more expensive, and this is still amazing and almost identical in terms of smell. But if you're someone that does love and appreciate the original, and like I said, some of those little nuances that make it just a bit different, might be worth considering the OG, just if you were looking at that 100 ml. But all in all, again, 1981X, amazing choice, definitely one that I recommend. So that's going to wrap up today's video. I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. Know that you can be doing anything else, but you decided to watch, and I really appreciate that. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed today's review, today's video, or fragrance related content, go ahead, consider subscribing, and make sure you hit the bell to stay notified. And then, as always, if you have any experience with Alexandria Fragrances 1981X, Xerjoff Naxos, or anything I'd say from, Alexandria Fragrances, go ahead, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts and experience with that one. And until next time, peace and love.